Matt, it was Christmas Eve, and all through the house, we were sitting with our iPads, reading some terrible holiday comics. Y'all, this is a special episode. It's going to be short. This is part of our planned Christmas break. I want to talk about the holiday comic. It's a thing that Marvel and DC have done. They don't do it regularly. It seems like they go through spurts of releasing these holiday-themed comics. And they're like anthology books. There's like 3 or 4 shorts in them. So Matt and I each read 3 from Marvel and DC. We each just sort of like randomly read some things. We're going to talk about them. I get the feeling that Matt liked these a whole lot better than I did. And I read one that just absolutely blew my mind in the worst way possible that I also want to talk about. But my general take on the holiday comic is they're kind of fun and goofy, but they're also not very good.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like they're probably like cash grabs or whatever. I historically like hate anthology books. Like I don't vibe with them. I think it has to do with my like consistent art theme.
Yeah,
thing.
You're not getting that with these.
Yeah, absolutely not. Like, I mean, I read. Do you want us to just like talk about them or like I don't?
I mean,
like,
I've got some specific examples that happened, but I'm not going to give like a whole review.
Yeah, we're not going to give a
3 things that I
dissertation.
read.
So I read the DC Holiday Special, number 9. Like, this was just, it was whatever. The audio listeners, sorry, I just put the screen
Matt's holding his iPad up to the camera right now.
Yeah. The one I actually do want to talk about though is it was DC Comics Presents 1978 issue 68. On the cover, if you see this issue, it's got Superman. It's a Superman issue with Santa Claus on it.
But before you get too far into this, I just want to tell everybody, if you have DC Infinite Ultra, there is like a hub. There's like a tile, the holiday comics that you can click on, and it has like all of the holiday. Like, it's not just the special like holiday episodes. It's also issues. It's also like issues of a random series like this one that Matt read. Is just like Christmas themed in the middle of like an arc. It's like a fill-in issue that's about Santa Claus or whatever. And while you start talking, I have to go off camera for a second. I forgot my water.
So this is DC Comics was actually DC Comics issue number 67. So I don't want to go through all of these issues, but I have to just break this down. The emphasis of this story was the beginning. There's a child who has a toy gun. He ends up shooting a guy who's doing the Salvation Army Santa Claus thing, right?
Whoa.
This child is mind controlled, and you don't know who's mind controlled this child at this point. So Superman, being our favorite authoritarian figure, decides to take this child, fly him to the Fortress of Solitude to find out what's going on. He finds out that this kid's mind controlled. The gun is made by the toy maker. On the way out, he flies with this kid, and the kid shoots Superman. Knocks Superman out of the air. One of Dave's favorite tropes. It wasn't kryptonite though. He shot him with the power of a white dwarf star that caused his math to become so dense he sank into the snow. So Superman is passed out in the snow. He wakes up, he's carried by elves that are in the North Pole, and apparently the Fortress of Solitude is in the North Pole. And they're like, how did I not know about this? And he's like, oh, because it's magic. Fast forward a little bit. A little creepy how Santa finds out if you're naughty or nice. He actually has like a NATO center of dudes with computers, like elves with computers, watching out if you're naughty or nice. Okay, Superman, we finally find out about the toy maker. We go there to confront the toy maker. Superman gets his ass kicked and gets his ass handed to him by the toys. And Santa Claus shows up with good toys and fights off the toy maker with Superman.
Sounds incredible.
At the end of the story, they're going to Santa's sleigh to deliver the presents, and the toy maker has distributed bad toys around. So that's why Santa Claus is going around to get the bad toys and put the good toys in to kind of follow the Santa Claus story. But as they're packing up the sleigh, the kid turns again and shoots Superman. Superman wakes up, and apparently this whole thing with Santa Claus was a dream. After all, it was not real. And Superman wakes up where he was at when he fell from the White Dwarf Star, and there's a little thing in the beginning, like Superman was like, "Oh, my favorite toy when I was young was this thing from Krypton." And long story short, at the end of the story, it was all a dream, but Superman wakes up and he has this toy. Thank you for letting me get that off my chest. That was an enjoyable, most ridiculous. It's not even Silver Age issue. I don't like. It was just ridiculous. It was just a ridiculous Superman.
Isn't the 70s still technically Silver Age though?
Yeah, I think so. 1980. Death of Gwen Stacy's like the 80s, so that's kind of when the Silver Age.
Oh, I thought Silver Age still had some 70s in it. I thought 70s
Yeah, no,
and
I
80s were
think
Silver Age.
I think you're right. I don't know when the Death
What
of
do I
Gwen
know?
Stacy is. I should know that. Blasphemy, but
Eh.
yeah, that was interesting. But
DC's
sorry.
definitely, I feel like they were more off the rails than Marvel.
Dude,
Although, so the
off
one that
the
I
rails.
read one that was called Seasons Beatings. It came out in 2018.
Yes.
I did not know at the time that it was a Deadpool holiday comic.
Okay.
Like Deadpool was the narrator, and in between the mini stories, there was like a Deadpool narrative that threaded throughout. The one thing I did appreciate, X-Force was in it.
Okay.
Deadpool started out talking about X-Force and Domino and Cannonball were in a mall to like do a signing, and they're waiting for Cable to show up. They mentioned or referenced Rob Liefeld's jeans commercials from the 90s.
Yes, dude, I
which I
love
thought
the
was pretty
jeans
funny.
commercials with Spike Lee, like the Rob
Yeah.
Liefeld jeans.
Like they were in general, like the little anthology stories were okay. There was one about Squirrel Girl going to Latveria that was really hard to read,
Yeah.
and none of those really stuck with me. And I read another one that was just called Holiday Special or something from Marvel. It was three stories in the anthology, and I picked this one specifically. It was from 2005.
Yeah.
I picked
so
it
kinda recent.
specifically because I looked at the 2006 version of that, because they released three. They did 2005, 6, and 7, and they
Okay.
took a long break. But the 2006 version said it's the follow-up to the award-winning 2005 holiday special. I was like, well, I should read the 2005
Yeah.
because it
for sure.
won awards. I don't know what awards it won. Of the three stories, the first one was Fantastic Four. The Mole Man
Oh yeah.
was kidnapping Santa Clauses all around New York City,
Okay.
and then the Fantastic Four had to like, figure out why, and the whole thing ended up being a bit like it wasn't like Mole Man didn't care about Santa Claus. He just wanted to go on vacation. Terrible art, very cartoony art, but not like the good kind, like Scotty Young cartoony. It was just like wasn't good. The middle story was an Avengers story where a Santa Claus that is also an Ultron tries to infiltrate Avengers Mansion. There's like a running bit where Spider-Woman keeps finding herself underneath mistletoe, so she kisses Tony and Steve, maybe somebody else, I don't remember. I don't know why that was in there. It was really weird. Why her? I don't know. And then the third one was another Fantastic Four story with some of the most awful art I've ever seen in a comic book. I don't know where to begin disparaging this art, but it was atrocious. I'll show it to you after we're
Yes,
done.
please,
I'll
please
text
do.
you a couple of screenshots, but
Please do.
they were like, they're fun and they're funny, but they're also not super, like, I could read one and then not want to read any more for a while. I understand why they only come out sporadically, because you really couldn't do these every single year. People would not want to buy this every year, I don't think.
No, this tomfoolery every year.
But there's not, I mean, if you want, I know people that if they're fans of The Office during Christmas time, they'll watch all of the Christmas Office episodes or other, TV shows that they like. There's people always have their favorite Christmas movies. People don't have anything like fans of comics. What do you have? I guess you have these holiday specials, and this year you got the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special on Disney Plus. You're a Marvel fan. So if you want some sort of celebratory holiday themed stuff, these are all you got in the comics world.
And the last one I did read though, it was a very Dave themed holiday special. Did you read the one you recommended, the last one?
The Punisher
It was
one?
The Punisher Xmas special?
I gave you that one on purpose.
Why?
Because after our last episode where you were very upset about the Jason Aaron Punisher, I needed you to read some good classic Punisher. I needed to center you.
Thank you for bringing me back, brother. I have been touched. Dude, that was like a legit, like, it was pretty much like, I hate Christmas. Because, I mean, his family died, so he's like, I hate Christmas or whatever. Dude, that was just like a good Punisher issue. He had his naughty list, and he was killing people, and he had his good list. Dude, I was like, all right, that might be my Christmas. That might be my Christmas book. I search out. I read that every holiday. Pretty dark and depressing, but hey, it had a good resolution.
Maybe I should be reading that on Saturday. Maybe that's what I should be doing.
I might read it again. It had a good resolution. Frank had a little optimism at the end. You know, he tried to spare some people. Yeah, it was good. I was like, I just read this. No, I really. You've read it before?
I read it a long time ago. I don't remember it. I have to read it again.
You should read it. It was good. I enjoyed it.
Now, I do have to talk about
oh boy,
the third one that I read. If I could unlock my iPad.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So
it was DC, right?
Unfortunately, it was. So I really wanted to read something that was very old. I intentionally picked something old. So I picked Comic Cavalcade number 9. This comic book was printed in 1944.
Why would you do this to yourself, Dave? You know. Oh, no.
So Wonder Woman was on the cover with the Alan Scott green. It's Alan Scott, right? That's the Golden Age Green Lantern. Yep. I got that right. Okay, I don't know my DC that well.
You know your DC more than you thought.
So it's a bunch of different stories. Okay, it's definitely an anthology book. The
number 9, this DC Comics Cavalcade number 9.
Yeah.
1944.
Yeah.
Oh no, Dave.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
It was a different time. So the Wonder Woman feature story was extremely misogynistic. I flipped through it. I read a few panels. I couldn't take it. I had to go. Like, they got Diana doubling as a secretary for a general in the military, and every man treats her as such. Very silly. The only Christmas story in this anthology book was the Green Lantern story. And I'm not sure why it's a Christmas story, because not a ton of Christmassy stuff happens, although it is set in Christmas time. However, the book opens with people singing Christmas carols, and they're like singing for like a radio program, which was a thing in the 40s. Like, they would record radio live or whatever. Yep. So while this ensemble chorus is singing, an old woman storms in and says, "Stop that song. Look at that chorus. They haven't the right to celebrate Christmas. They ain't real white 100% Americans. Their color is wrong, their religion is wrong, and most of them is foreigners anyway."
Okay.
So the guy who is in charge of the radio show calls her a fool. He actually says, "You're a fool."
Okay. Okay.
And then he says that he wants to tell her a story about two friends that will make her understand the meaning of Christmas. These two friends are Green Lantern and some guy named Doiby Dickles. And Doiby says things like a stereotype.
Is it a black dude or something?
No, it's some just generic looking white dude. He says, "Are used crooks trying to spurl Christmas?" That's how Doiby speaks. But anyway, like, there's like a dust up with Green Lantern and Doiby and some guys that are trying to rob an old lady, and Doiby gets shot. And then they say they can't operate on Doiby because of the only doctor that can operate on him is like black or Asian or not. He's non-white. And they said, hey, like, the person in charge of the hospital says that doctor can't do surgery here. So unless you get that person to sign off, we can't do the surgery on Doiby. I hate even saying his name. It's so ridiculous. Doiby. So So Green Lantern, while he's going to the board of directors, and he's like, "Hey, I want to talk to the person that can, make this decision." They say, "Oh, well, that person's never here. They only vote by mail." And then some dude, another dude that's there, goes, "Oh, hey, I actually know who that is, and then I can take you to them." So they go to some other place, and it's the same thing. Like, these women are like, "Oh yeah, that guy, he's on the board here, but he only votes by letter. We've never seen him before." And they go around and around and around until finally they get to someone that can help. And the dude that was trying to help Green Lantern says, "Oh, well, I'll go to that person. I'll go to this dude and like bring him here, and give you his demands to help or whatever." So then, like, they come back. They're supposed to drop the letter in a garbage can, and then Alan Scott, aka Green Lantern, has a bunch of, again, Santa Clauses that are taking donations at the corners, like the Salvation Army Santa Clauses, like, track the car by ringing their bell as it drives away, because Green Lantern wants to like trap this person before they can get away. And then it turns out that the guy who was helping Green Lantern all along was this board member guy playing dumb, like beating him on a wild goose chase. That is comics in the 40s. The best we could do.
So did the man get surgery?
He did. Doiby lived.
Okay.
Doiby lived.
I don't know if Doiby lived or not.
Doiby
Sounds like
made
a lot of bureaucracy if this man's all shot up. Like,
No,
he didn't
Doiby
make
made
it. Okay. Well, that's all that matters. Ooh, I don't know why you sentenced yourself to a 1944 comic. You were feeling
There's more,
real.
because I knew it would. Because I knew it would be
real.
insane. I knew it would be insane. So I had. There's another story in here that I couldn't even bring myself to read. But the title of the story is "Filipinos Are People." The 1940s were a weird place, obviously.
Yeah, I mean the 60s is about as far back as I can go. I can't go further back than that.
By the way, this Filipinos Are People backstory is like a wartime story.
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
And every Asian person in this is literally drawn
Thanked.
like a
Thanked.
caricature,
Yes. Thanked.
and their skin is yellow.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
Of
it's
course.
it's a very racist take.
Stuff.
So yeah, don't go back to Comic Cavalcade number 9 if you want a heartwarming Christmas tale. Highly unrecommended.
Unless your name's Kanye West.
Unless you're Kanye, you want to be called Ye now.
Whatever. I can't keep up anymore.
I can, and I choose not to, because that dude sucks. So yeah.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Peace on earth, goodwill to all, whatever, etc., etc. But yeah, I just thought it'd be fun to talk about holiday comics. So yeah, like Matt said, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, however you celebrate, however you choose to celebrate the holidays, or if you choose not to, like me this year, I hope you have a good time. This episode is releasing on a Saturday, FYI, if you're listening the day it releases, because this is a Christmas comic themed episode. It comes out on Saturday the 24th. We're gonna have one more episode that comes out during our little break. I also misspoke. I gotta clear the record real quick. I misspoke the last on our year in review episode. I said we'd have another episode on January 9th. I lied, unintentionally lied, but I did lie. We'll be back on the 16th of January. Want to clear that up.
When you say happy holidays, do you include New Year's?
I don't know, man.
I don't know. I was like someone brought that
I
up,
don't
and I was like, I don't know. I was just curious.
I don't think
so, but I don't know.
Because even in Canada, they celebrate Boxing Day on the 26th, which is,
Yeah.
I mean, that's that I lump that in, but New Year's is like its own separate thing because everyone says Happy New Year.
Yeah.
But
Sure.
yeah, I guess no, I don't consider
No.
New Year's as part of the Happy Holidays wish. I don't know.
Go to some other podcast if you want New Year's and your salutations or whatever.
Or come back to this one in a few days, maybe.
Maybe.
Maybe. Okay, bye.
Bye.